So hey, welcome back. This is Scott Watson with Go Small, Live Large. I have a special treat today. I want to introduce you to the original camper van dweller in our family, and that would be Harry A. Watson. And got a little storytelling behind how Grandpa Watson lived in his Volkswagen camper van when I was a little guy. Joining me today are two special people. Let's meet the people behind the knees. So today I'm with my parents, Mom and Dad. This is Mike Watson and Kristen Watson. And I just invited them to join the channel today to talk a little bit about Dad's dad, Harry Watson, and tell a little bit about his story of camper van living.
Harry Abbott Watson was married to Gertrude Edwina Douglas, and Gertie, as she was called, died an extremely early death at the age of 47 of a stroke. Grandpa Watson remained in the house for a year or so, and then he had it with everything. So he just divested himself of all of his property and bought a Volkswagen camper, and he was gonna hit the road. And he had a little dog that stayed with him and had been with him for a little while called Chico. And he was this fluffy little ball of vitality. And this picture is the typical real picture of Harry Watson. So into the camper they went, and down the road they went. They started out in California, and they lived in various places. One of the best things about his camper was he wanted to be able to be somewhat self-contained in it. Little Bunsen burner stove. He had a little refrigerator. He had a little bed at the back and a closet, and then some open space as you opened the door. That was how he lived. I mean, he would open a can of ravioli and warm it up on his Bunsen burner stove and eat it for dinner. And he made camp coffee. That was putting coffee grounds in a can, adding water, bringing it to a boil, and pouring it into cups. You sifted the coffee with your teeth. It was a delight to drink. When Scott was about 6 years old in first grade, Grandpa Watson finally made it up to where we lived in Boise at that time. And he stayed with us for a week or so, and it took us around in his camper to different nearby attractions, and then we would stop and have lunch, which was a can of chili or Dinty Moore stew or raviolis warmed up on his Bunsen burner, and he made camp coffee, and the boys got to drink that. That was the best fun they had all year when Grandpa Watson would show up.
What was kind of the family and your reaction to the whole doing something really vastly different than what everybody would probably expect, which is to just hit the road and do this kind of nomadic lifestyle? What was that like?
Being alone did not bother him at all. He was happy being alone. He was in love with Volkswagens. We bought one of the very first Beetles when we were in the Philippines. Dad was in the service as a career. Paid $2,300 for a brand new Beetle in the Philippines. I think this Volkswagen camper he bought was in this outrageous price of $7,000 or $8,000. But it was a basic rudimentary vehicle. If you've never driven one of those things, they're kind of strange. They're all 4 speeds, of course, and no automatics in those days. It was all stick shift, so it was you had to do a lot of shifting to keep it going, because that 36 horsepower motor, that's all they had in them. That was all. I think that was the horsepower of that camper. 36 or 40. Mostly he enjoyed just getting in that machine and going down the road. I don't think he ever had a plan to go any certain place. He just went. And when he got tired, he stopped. And he had to be, that was not self-contained. He had to get out to use all the facilities. There was nothing in that camper but a propane deal, and like Chris said, there was no water, no nothing, so he was camping. But he didn't care, that was his thing. So I think that was, it probably saved his life really. If we'd have boxed him up and tried to keep him home, it'd have been very unhappy. So this travel lust he's always had was great. He used it up, and he did that till he was too old to do it. But an original star traveler, out on the road.
Original
Yes.
vagabond.
Yes.
Original.
Original.
Back when it wasn't popular.
Yes, a vagabond
You were
is a
just
good
a cut
description.
above a hobo, and that's what he liked. Hobo is kind of a bad word these days. You don't use it anymore, but that's what they were called. And he was just a cut above being a hobo.
I really appreciate you joining us today, learning a little bit about my family, my grandpa, the first Vanlifer in the Watson family. Sure appreciate you liking this video. Go ahead and hit that button. Better yet, subscribe to the channel. Really love you to do that. And leave a comment down below. Let me know if there's somebody in your background or family that was a Vanlifer that maybe you're kind of getting this streak from. I'd sure love to have some dialogue with you about that. So until we meet again, this is Scott. Go small, live large.